Begin by showing how we set sail electrically. To hoist the main, all you do is take some turns on the self-tailing winch, press the button, and up she goes, taking care to guide the first two battens through the lazy jacks. This is how a modern full-powered main should look, like an airplane wing or an arched eagle wing. Next, we electrically unfurl the jib, which takes about 8 seconds. And of course, furling away the jib is just as simple. Now let's get underway. The logistics of leaving and landing can often lead to considerable anxiety and the need for helping hands. But as you will see, we've made this boat so easy to handle that maneuvering around docks becomes a no-stress, one-man procedure. Note that there's a dodger set up here, which is a nice way to keep the forward part of the cockpit protected. And this dodger is specifically designed not to interfere with the helmsman's forward visibility or the boat's good looks. When the channel opens to the bay and I put the hammer down, she really steps out. The 40 horsepower Yanmar S-Drive diesel creates an extra power reserve that guarantees you will get to where you want to go at 7+ knots, even if wind and wave are directly against you. Now let's check out this Alarian's unique ability to coast along in very light air. It's only blowing about 4 here, but thanks to our mega mainsail, we're doing about 3, which is pretty remarkable. This is the kind of soft air that drives most sailors to frustration and turning on the engine. But this yacht stays alive and fully responsive under quiet, non-polluting sail power. So in faint air conditions where sailing an ordinary yacht is no fun, this Alarian comes alive. Gaining better light wind performance was one of our specific design aims. After all, the average winds in the US are between 8 to 12 knots, so that's a condition where your yacht needs to perform well. For most boats, that means resorting to a labor-intensive big Genoa. More breeze. In these subsequent scenes, the wind will be up and down, blowing from 10 to 16 knots in the puffs. We'll just let the camera roll so you can see for yourself how this Alarian harmonizes classic beauty, modern speed, and single-handed ease. As I look at the speed shown by this boat in these scenes in Newport Harbor, it almost seems as if the engine is on, or we've speeded up the film. But this really is all sail, and this boat really does move this fast, all under easy one-man control. This means you can have race boat speed without the hassle of lining up crew, which is a consummation devoutly to be wished. All in an elegant day sailor whose beauty creates admiration wherever she sails. These scenes are back in Newport Harbor, where we're sailing freely amongst the anchored boats because you can have full confidence in this boat's ability to maneuver precisely. Here we're off Goat Island, meeting a bit more chop, but the Alarian slices through with no fuss and no decrease in speed. Now I'm headed out toward the Newport Bridge, The sea breeze sets in and she likes it. The true mark of classic yacht beauty is an innate ability to look good from every sailing angle. Here we can credit designer Carl Shoemaker's deft touch in blending traditional topsides with a fully modern rig and underbody. This involves a careful combination of balanced overhangs, graceful shearline, and proportionate cabin, a delicate mix that has eluded our various competitors. Well done, Carl. Another important credit goes to the craftsmen at Pearson Composites, who bring together old-world woodworking skills with the latest technology in fiberglass molding to produce a yacht that is strong, durable, and notably pleasing to the sailor's eye. It's interesting how you can tell from the bow wave and the cleanness of wake just how well the water likes a hull shape. Where many yachts just bob or bash their way, this Alerion swiftly cleaves its way forward, showing style that ordinary boats can only envy. To look this good and sail this fast takes a very special yacht. To tack this boat, all you do is turn the wheel. There is no winching or trimming necessary. Both jib and main are completely self-tacking. In this sequence, I'm off on a broad reach in light air, which affords an opportunity to see the effectiveness of the patented Hoyt jib boom. Basically, this device does for the jib what the boom vang does for the main. It holds the clew down to avoid wasteful twist-off, so the sail delivers full power. Many don't realize that a small sail correctly trimmed and vanged will outpower a big sail that can't be effectively trimmed or vanged. That is precisely what occurs with large Genoas, which involve a lot of work upwind and don't work at all downwind. That makes the Genoa a very bad choice for the single-handed sailor. Fortunately, it twists off, while the lower half remains partially trimmed in due to the sheeting point on the hull. This means that on a beam or broad reach, about half of the Genoa's area is completely ineffective and contributes nothing to forward drive. And of course, dead downwind, the Genoa is basically useless, just slats around and makes a nuisance of itself. In contrast, the patented self-vanging Hoyt jib boom automatically creates a wide sheeting point at the end of the boom, which effectively controls twist and makes the entire sail functional off-wind. And for dead downwind, the jib will wing itself out. The net is that the combination of the Alerion's mega mainsail and the Hoyt jib boom projects full sail area downwind and will enable you to blow right by those boats that are handicapped by a skinny triangular sail and a useless Genoa. In these downwind shots, you'll first see a jibe, and then you can see how the jib boom wings itself out to effectively project full sail area to the wind. Here I'm showing off a bit with some tight 360-degree turns under sail. This is not recommended standard procedure, but it can be useful for emergencies, and most boats just can't do it. This ability to pirouette in a tight place might also come in handy as a pre-race starting maneuver, guaranteed to befuddle the competition. So what do you do if the wind comes up a bit? Well, the first and quickest way to shorten sail is just to electrically furl the jib, which, as you have already seen, takes only a push of a button and about 10 seconds. In ordinary sloops, when you take away the jib, you subtract most of the speed. Under main alone, they sail like crippled birds. Not so with this Alerion's mega mainsail, which all by itself can deliver hull speed. Sailed as a single-sail catboat, this boat nimbly handles like a big Finn dinghy. And speaking as an old Finn sailor, I can assure you that this one is a whole lot easier. Of course, another easy push-button alternative is to keep the full jib and just reef the main. In this split-screen shot, you can see how the single-line reefing works. First, the line electrically pulls down the tack, then it pulls down the clew. I happen to be the proud inventor of single-line reefing about 25 years ago, and it still amazes me that not everybody knows about it. Now watch how she sails with a reef tucked in. We have significantly lowered the center of effort, the boat is fully balanced, and we're still doing 7+ knots. This configuration will comfortably take you up to about 22 knots true wind. And for our final gear shift, just furl the jib and sail on reefed main alone. The power and efficiency of this fully roached main is such that the boat can still do 7 knots, and the sail handling couldn't be simpler. This will take you comfortably up to 30 knots true wind. So what do you do if it blows more than 30? Well, that's easy. Why are you still out there? Drop the sail, turn on that 40 horsepower diesel, and head for home. Sure, the boat can take that kind of wind, but why should you? This boat is designed specifically for selective sailing pleasure, and 60 years of sailing have taught me that there is very little pleasure to be had when it's blowing over 30. Of course, to shake out the reef is again just a matter of pushing a button and you're back under full sail power. The separate wheel station has been carefully engineered to bring all the elements necessary for full control right back to the helmsperson. All the sail control lines are led under the deck so as not to clutter the deck or intrude on your passengers' comfort. And note that all those lines can be neatly stowed in special bins right under the winches. The combined gear shift and throttle are located close to the wheel so you can keep your eyes forward while maneuvering. And 8 friends can comfortably sit in the spacious cockpit, completely free of any swinging. And this is a stern-to landing, which can be tricky. I usually prefer to land bow in and then back out when departing. But there are times when you need to be stern-to, and this boat can handle that. Also note that the absence of lifelines makes it possible to jump easily onto the dock with the stern line in hand. You can't do that if you have to vault over lifelines. I hope this review has given you a fairly complete picture of how this yacht uniquely combines classic beauty, scintillating speed, and single-handed ease. What is hard to transmit is just how much fun it is to sail a really responsive yacht like this that you can handle all by yourself. That represents real freedom, real independence. And then, of course, there's the all-important aesthetic reward of owning the prettiest girl at the dance.